You guessed it, it's time for the zoo draft, and Plasma is like, well, we're gonna try and halt you with a Tidehunter pickup here, try and reduce the damage output bit, make Lycan's landing stage a tiny bit harder as well with the Anchor Smash damage reduction, also make Lycan's last hitting capability not so strong, but team fight wise, also a really good pickup. Does mean that Lycan has to maybe look at a BKB at some point if he just wants to chew out these free hits, but Tide is definitely a reasonably good answer to this.
Yep, I've seen it run with a lot of efficiency in Europe. I think that, especially because you can park the Tidehunter under a tower where the Lycan wants to be, there's just no way for a Lycan to engage into that. If he gets actually caught out by the Ravage, he can definitely die with this much damage on the side of Plasma. So they'll have to play this a little bit more careful, a little bit more sneakily. And with the speed with which I picked up that Tidehunter as well, they already thought out this entire move. They picked up the Skywrath, they knew a Lycan was going to follow, and they immediately took up the Tidehunter. Yep. So they're not about to let themselves be caught unawares here.
Yeah, that's also what I like, is that if Plasma get themselves the chance to initiate first, the Clockwork hook shot into Cogs and then Sky just drops an ulti on top is going to be very devastating if they can pull it off. But I think the downside is if Thunder Predator get the initiation first, Lycan's going to be hunting this Skywrath instantly. And you're really going to have... If this guy is a core, you might have to consider going for a Ghost Scepter fairly early on. But that also makes yourself susceptible to the Earthshaker and the Puck's nuke. So you can't really have a tanky Skywrath at the same time and, you know, your survivability because you're a glass cannon in the end.
Yep.
Does look like Sky will be played as a support, so I guess they can sack that hero in a sense, but, you know, sacking a hero for a Lycan is always just going to make the scenario a lot worse because this Lycan just feeds on heroes like these.
Are they going to take the Luna themselves here? What do you think? Because there's definitely a Luna-shaped hole in this draft right now.
There's a bit. If you're talking about Plasma, we're potentially looking at a very odd tri-lane setup, and it's not exactly the best. You have a very squishy safe lane duo if you go with Sky together with Luna.
Oh yeah, even
if you go with Clockwork, the Sky is capable of harassing really well, just very regeneration dependent. So they're gonna grab a Kunkka. Kunkka gives a bit more extra for the setup, also allows more output from the Skywrath. He's tanky against the Lycan. A bit more survivability. There's a lot of melee on Plasma's side, like 4 melees, and then there's one caster in behind, so...
Razor pick.
10 seconds to pick.
What I do like about their draft is they have a good mixture of both physical and magical damage on their side, but the fights are kind of going in the way that Skywrath needs to be in melee range, because all of his other teammates are going to be in melee range, leaving him very alone if the Lycan's going to be like, ooh, I see a free chicken right here, I'm just going to chase this guy down.
Yeah, what's better than chicken? Free chicken.
What do you think about a Timbersaw pick here for Thunder Predator? Because there's so much strength heroes on the board.
Yeah, Timbersaw could be good. I was personally thinking about a Razor just because I think Razor wins all 3 of these lanes really hard.
I don't think the strength would be the only factor here. There doesn't look like there's a proper Spirit Vessel carrier for Plasma. And they do have magical damage output, so they could go for a pipe. Well, they're gonna bring out the Viper.
I guess it was up to style, really, if you want to run a Razor or a Viper here. Because Viper also wins all 3 of these lanes. We have seen earlier today an Ember Spirit get absolutely schooled by a Viper. There was also, I believe, the Kunkka was dodging that lane as well, which is why the Ember Spirit got flattened in the first place. So their only option would be to put the Tidehunter mid, which means that the Tidehunter is not up against the Lycan. Something's got to give here, and it doesn't feel good for Plasma at all.
Definitely not. And if you look at the snowball potential as well from Thunder Predator, if they can get their game rolling very early on, Plasma is just going to be praying that mommy would come home soon. Like, this is a situation where you do have a good amount of setup, you got a nice amount of damage output overall, so you have, in a sense, a stable lineup, but there are weaknesses in this draft that Thunder Predator is easily going to be exploiting with their lineup. It's team fight versus team fight, though. Do you feel like Plasma has a chance here, or do you feel like they're actually better than Thunder Predator here, coming in from a loss?
No, Plasma look pretty outdrafted here just because they have, from what I see, 2 equal lanes and 1 losing one. And look at that. Thunder Predator even put Frank on the Earthshaker. So up against 3 melees here, an Earthshaker is so powerful as well. Make that 2-1 lanes and a draw. That's not the starting position you want for a lineup that has to find pickoffs, because nobody on the side of Plasma can actually farm jungle all that well. They'll do okay, but you don't have your Luna or, you know, a Troll Warlord who's going to just be hitting these jungle creeps. So you're going to have to get that farm out of the lanes, out of the map, out of kills. Otherwise you're just going to get out-farmed by this Lycan, even if you manage to stop the tempo. I see a lot of problems.
Well, you gotta see if they can pull it off. There's a lot of things that they need to take into account in this game, and I feel like if they can, the biggest importance right now is to get a victory out of the laning stage and not lose too hard, because I think that's how they start building their game around.
Yep. And I do want to say that if Plasma managed to actually get a solid lane phase down here, which is going to be very rough, but you know, maybe it happens, then at the very least they have a very good way to match the tempo of these Lycan pushes. They have the Tidehunter, they have the Kunkka, and even if they are behind, if they're not too far behind, that is a lot of damage to throw into a choke point. And I said at the end of the previous game, okay, if you're losing against a pushing draft or you can see it coming, you at the very least want to be able to team fight into choke points, because they are going to 5-man into choke points eventually.
Yeah.
So those factors are there. It's not all hopeless. It's just going to be rough to get there in the first place.
Well, at least a lot of bounties set up very early on, and they're targeting Leo style with these. Maybe try and get him off edge a little bit. Let's see what Plasma can pull off. Because, you know, we've seen how this Viper versus Ember lane usually goes up, so Rem will go to the safe lane with the Ember Spirit. No chance for the Ember to have any hopes against the Viper. So I guess this is the point where Psycho, I mean, Plasma are just kind of thinking, who's going to take the sacrificial bullet for the team right here? And it's going to be the Kunkka.
And that was the matchup that I expected before as well, although there is a lane swap right now. Yeah, they want to have this Tide up against the Lycan most likely. That could be a 1 lane for the Tide. Or is he... Yeah, the Ember's moving over. Ember Spirit still gets absolutely styled on by Earthshaker though.
Yeah.
Maybe the supports will be able to make the difference there. But it's not going to be fun for the Ember.
Yeah. Matthew sees there's some rotations kicking in, pinging them out as well. They've already made their lane rotation very, very early on. So the Ember now coming in towards the bot lane with the Shaker. Chen TPing towards the bottom lane. Puck going top, so swapping the supports around. And now we also see the Shaker coming in too.
And the biggest part here is that because the Chen TP'd early, he got to summon the Lycan to the bot lane.
Yeah.
So if these lanes swap up again, which they might do on the side of Plasma,
right, they're doing right now, so yeah.
Yeah, the Lycan can still teleport.
This is exactly what's going to happen right now. So they wait for the TPs to go off first. MNZ maybe 1 or 2 last hits from this lane, and then probably just going to teleport straight to top. Let's see if they want to hold on to the lanes as they are right now. Might be a few changes still kicking in. Rem and Pingu against Frank and Matthew up till now. Clockwork forced out. What do you feel about this pause 3 shaker?
Plus 3 shaker in a melee matchup is extremely powerful. And you'll only put 1 point in the fissure if you do it at all, just because you want to block some waves and you want to get some kill opportunities. So you fissure, then you walk in, and you start doing the real deeps with that enchant totem. It is pretty ridiculous how hard you can hit. You can't trade into an Earthshaker core at all, not on a ranged hero at least. And since there are no ranged cores on the side of Plasma, they don't get that option. After that, Earthshaker core depends a little bit. If you can keep bursting people, then you can go Shadowblade and just keep on murdering. The train does not ever have to stop. I've greatly enjoyed some core Earthshaker mids against Ember Spirit in the past, actually.
Yeah. At least the damage output does go somewhat even in a sense, and the Shaker can also just build up on that early tankiness, at least in the form of the Soul Ring. He's got double brown boots, but that's probably going to be changing in just a bit. And yes, as he said, MNZ would Lycan into the top lane going up against the Ember.
Yep. We saw this matchup last game. That's just one that is, well, 50-50 for the Ember on a good day. Let's see if he has a good day.
Leo Style is going to slowly start the Torture Fest here in mid versus the Kunkka. Fightbringer gives you a bit of an advantage here to help in this trade. Baiting out the Torrent, not actually using it. And there we have it. Easy dodge for Leo Style. Kunkka going ham with this trade, though. Who's going to take it in the end? There's a Fairy Fire, and Leo Style going to use it. And that should be it. Kunkka's down. Styled to the end.
Did he not see the Fairy Fire? I mean, then again, if you get in that deep versus a Viper, it's just a difference of experience as well. Like, you get in that deep, you realize halfway through that, oh, I committed 3 seconds ago. Yeah. Well.
Well, we're now 1-0 for Thunder Predator to start the game off. They are coming in from a loss, trying to look for some victories. Like, if they end up taking some here against Plasma, they'll have a good run for the rest of the group stages. We're only into day 4 as well, so there's plenty of action ahead here in the Americas. If somebody was wondering, we have NA and SA combined for this entire group.
So far, NA looking a lot stronger than SA, though, gotta say.
At the moment. I feel like Moxie or someone should be like prepping up the teams, because, you know, she's the person who's like just trying to fuel up all these SA teams. Trying to get them to perform up to peak level. But right now it's just NA is looking so much stronger in a sense, at least for the starting of this group. A few days here and there.
Top lane, Rem going for Matthew doesn't get him, but that was pretty close.
Yep, bottle picked up by the Ember. Extra regen for this lane. One thing I'm a bit curious about here mid lane, though, they're trying to go for Leo Style, but only with a level 2 Clockwork and a level 4 Kunkka. Sky also trying to do a bit of damage onto the Viper, but the situation might escalate, because the Viper's almost level 6, and contesting the Viper right here is going to be very hard when you don't have those single target lockdowns. You don't have the stuns to deal with this situation, so they're just going to have to let the Viper do Viper things and try not to feed the Viper too much. Ingu trying to make a rotation top. MNZ very low. Rem doesn't have Searing Chains leveled up, so there's no chance that they can go on this Lycan. Giving it a little bit of mental support. Hey buddy, I got your back. But the lane is now pushing in.
Which is good, because this Ember wants to fill his bottle, but is he going to get to?
Yeah, exactly, because Matthew and the Wolves are doing work. Well, they will get the bottle fill here for the Ember Spirits, so it's a bit of assistance in that. Matthew dropping low, dropping stick charges. Pretty good. Now going on to Frank here in the bottom lane. 300 HP, 100 movement speed. The combine of the gush and also the concussive blow. So that is gonna be Shaker going down. First kill going in for Plasma.
Yep. So this is their lane that we expected to be the only one that was going to do well, and we've got it going right now. So this Tidehunter carries a lot of weight on his shoulders. He is going to be stopping off the Lycan, as well as being the leverage for his team to stay in this game until they can get their items up.
Well, there's a bit of pressure coming into mid. They have the Chen coming in behind. The Viper ulti will connect onto the Kunkka, and with no ulti, only a level 2 puck. Won't be able to cancel that TP. Kunkka makes his way back home, but that then again supports forcing the enemy mid to go all the way back home, giving Viper a
On the
bit of
catapult
undealing.
wave as well, but Thunder Predator. Yeah, they are sticking around. Chen has some creeps in the mid lane, and I do hope they're going to be keeping this catapult alive. Several heroes from Plasma near, though. It all feels like a big distraction for what's going on top lane currently, where MNZ gets run down by Pingu. I doubt he's going to survive this.
Rough situations. They will take down the Lycan big pickoff, but there's also pressure being put in the mid lane. They want to take this tower very early on, and you know this could spell disaster if you trade your Lycan for the enemy's mid tier 1 tower. This is a really big pick here for Thunder Predator. G's trying to do his best. Doesn't get the deny. The boat will connect only onto the Viper, so Chen is fine, and they will lose the Kunkka's Viper as well. Pingu is coming in here as well, and the Clockwork will manage to isolate the puck at least momentarily. Oh, gets hit by the cogs and dodges that one incoming arcane bolt, but still ends up going down. They will take down the Chen too. Make it a 2-for-2 trade, with the Lycan dying earlier in top and for that mid tier 1 tower. So I would really count this as a victory for Thunder Predator. Kunkka going down for the Viper. This is really big for them.
As well as this Tidehunter coming in to defend a tower that's not there anymore. That's a lot of free time for the Shaker, who definitely wasn't liking his lane up against the Tide up until this moment.
Oops.
We're not even 8 minutes in as that objective fell. Not sure if they even need to start focusing on this top tier 1 tower just quite yet, but a Lycan ulti has been used. It's going to be MNZ trying to hunt someone in the jungle. It's going to be Pingu. Finds himself a free Clockwork. Needs to time the cogs. Doesn't get it on time. So that was a small pixel play there. If he just dropped it earlier on when the right-click animation came off from MNZ, might have been able to do it. But as soon as Lycan just runs next to you, he gets trapped inside the cogs and no way of escaping.
At the very least, with his tower down, this Kunkka is now able to rotate without being seen, and he is coming for this Earthshaker. Unfortunately, though, gives himself away with vision on the Radiant Creeps.
Echo Slam is also up now on the Shaker. Pingu trying to drop some wards.
This is a dangerous hero to dive, but I think they're going to do it.
They might be able to do so. No silence leveled up, but they don't need it. Shaker should be going down. The Arcane Bolt is there. The right clicks from B-God. That is death number 2 on the Shaker.
The Thunder Predator seem to be taking this all very calmly. They're like, oh, the Shaker, well, we're in top lane, dude.
And it's like, yeah, it's alright, it's alright, it's all good. We're still getting things done on the other side of the map. They're pressuring this tier 1 tower.
And it is worth it.
It is totally worth it.
They're going to grab themselves a little bit more space here, and now, once this side of the map's nice and dark, they get a lot of...
They might want to do something here in bottom. It's a long TP from Leo style. And the 10-minute bounces are about to spawn.
He's the one who can kill the Tide, and Tide is right in his face.
And he's broken as well, so there's no way that he can actually dispel anything here. So that's a free kill for Leo style, just with a bit of assistance. And now at the same time, the outpost is being contested. Ram. There's some buddies coming in. It's B-God that will take down Matthew at the same time, and MJZ will fall too, but MNZ. Does he want to man fight this at all? They took away the outpost already, so that's big. And then he just pops the shapeshift defensively, but you don't need to fight that. You can just run away.
I don't think he's done yet. Ah, he is. He is. Just want to keep his options open.
Might want to kill B-God. The wolves are under the tower, but the anchor smash coming in place here by the Tide Hunter.
Yeah. That's how the Tide helps out. So now with both of these towers down and the bottom tower saved for the Radiant, the pressure is really onto the side of Plasma. They can't exactly move forward just because they'll have to break through this Earthshaker, and this time they don't know where the Viper is. If they're coming for him again right now, that would be the worst timing because he is hasted.
Yep, and they're also smoked up, and they will find Pingu. There's the Fissure stun, the break coming in as well. They drop the ulti. He doesn't have any chances. As soon as that Viper ulti connects, you know that I might have a chance to hook shot out, but they don't even actually use it onto the ancient camp to try and get away. Matthew still scouting for more. His Ops Ward is about to run out as well. Gets some information on the Skywrath. Drops his ultimate. Forces B-God to pop as well. Viper does get one right click in, but not more than that. And the Tide won't be able to close him.
Huge.
Meanwhile, Thunder Predator looking for a third tower, and we're only 11 minutes in, and all the tier 1s are going to be falling after this.
It's just so much free money and, you know, free energy spent on the enemy team as well.
Yep, and Necro 3s are now ready on the Lycan as well, so we're probably going to be seeing some action happening soon. Tidehunter still holding on to the Ravage, though. Matthew's not really doing any right-click damage onto this big fella. The Watermelon is chasing right next to you. And they're coming in with force. Plasma want to take the fight here. Everyone else is here except for the Kunkka. Kunkka picks up a DD rune as well to keep that mid lane pushed in. Might even try and look for a solo kill on the Chen, but Chen's already going out, but they're trying to break out into this fight. A really nice Ravage. Not enough to take down the Shaker though, and there's the Echo Slam. It's a beautiful one, but then again, Rem does get the jump in deep and finds himself a bit of damage. Now MNZ, he burns the mana pool of this Ember Spirit, so there's no way he's gonna be able to use his remnants to jump out.
And they got the Skywrath
cornered and bullied to death.
They were pretty close with getting the Shaker down in time, but pretty close is not close enough, my friends, and he gets an absolutely beautiful slam off right there. It's why that bottom tower was a death trap. I don't think you can go for that at that point. Not without any kind of preparation.
Yeah, exactly. When you're talking about this caliber of ultimates on both sides, nearly is not even enough. You need to do it completely. Just like you said.
And with spending the Ravage offensively as well, you are going to have to play pretty scared on this Tidehunter. Anytime you see Leo style, you can die. And look at Leo style, team player, built to force
shot into the top lane though, going straight onto Frank, and Shaker might have been a bit too deep here in this lane. The Plasma get themselves a pick off and halt the push in the top lane. Yes, so Frank is sometimes dying in some very questionable places. That's true.
He just needs his Blink Dagger. And then we're never going to see him again. Well, then Plasma is never going to see him again. But we will.
Thunder Predator trying to go on the initiative and go straight for Roshan. Under the cover of darkness, they slip into the pit. There's a rocket flare though, and they're even using a scan with the rocket flare to make sure that there is actually somebody there, but they definitely see them right now. Now Rem trying to look for the Remnant jump into the pit. They need to time this correctly. It's only a few hundred away from dying. There's another Slate of Fist coming in, and the Roche. Oh! He gets the kill, but it's MNZ picking up the Aegis, and it's still going to lead into the Ember Spirit falling down. He had another Remnant somewhere else, so he couldn't get that fast jump straight into the pit, but I guess it was planned all along. Just get the Roche kill for Plasma, but not the Aegis, which was the thing they really needed to pick up. And now with the Ember Spirit dead, Ravage is up in 8 seconds, won't be able to use it in time. And the style just go straight onto the Tidehunter. Here comes MNC with the ultimate as well, and Tide will fall before the Ravage comes up. Now the boat comes in. This is just everything just coming kind of apart here as MNC, well, he finds himself a Kunkka on the high ground. Chase him down. That boat, that run is going to keep him alive a bit longer. Is it going to be enough though? The Wolves are still chasing. He's going to drop to like 1 HP. One Wolf should do the trick, and there we go. MNC gets the kill.
And Thunder Predator now gets to take this mid tower, back off, take some runes as well. This should definitely secure Frank's blink dagger. Yep, he's got it. So their initiation is going to be even more powerful next time around. And there's just so few spaces on the map that feel safe for Plasma to go to right now. They have a couple of wards out still, but none of them to really indicate where Thunder Predator are moving into their territory. It's just you can see them once they're there with that top ward, and I don't think that that's enough. MNZ, he's got an Aegis. His team's going to come back him up.
Yeah,
they will need to come back him up though, because he is going to die here.
But it is going to be a Ravage that they're going to have to go up against, and MJZ goes for the stun here onto the Tidehunter. MNZ will be given the time to back out from this, and there's so many stuns, maybe even enough to kill the Tidehunter, but the Vlads will heal him up by quite a lot. The Echo flat by Frank, count to 4, and the Ravage will be used here by the Tidehunter just because the Earthshaker was giving so much fear. So this is not even half bad for Thunder Predator. They do a lot of damage, they force the Ravage out, but I mean, you've got Shapeshift up in 10 seconds. Even by losing 2 heroes, I still feel like Thunder Predator might be able to punish Plasma right after this one.
The Ravage being down is huge there. It feels kind of panicky. He doesn't know what else is going to jump him, so he just presses R.
Yep, and now the pressure really kicks in as Leo Style finds Pingu. There's that moment when you realize that this camp has been farmed, so there's nothing to jump to.
Lycan's on your top tower. Thunder Predator actually smoking up. They are looking to capitalize even more on this Ravage being down. I'm imagining that Matthew is just going to jump right as soon as the smoke breaks. No.
Well, he sees Conka. Torrent doesn't connect. Here comes Viper. Here comes the party as well. The puck ulti onto 2G will go down, and now onto the Tidehunter as well. Where's your Ravage now, big boy? No teammates to help you either. He's trying to keep himself alive for as long as he can. He's getting a lot of lifesteal, but it's not going to be enough. So 2 heroes gone from Plasma.
Skyclock, see MNZ top. All right, hook shot. You see the wolves?
Nope. I don't think they have.
Just a tiny window there.
They don't have the damage. They don't have the damage to go onto this this Lycan anymore. 2100 HP to try and burst with a level 1 Sky ulti is not going to happen. You can take him to half HP or more.
I would go.
Ooh.
I think they would have gone.
Pingu and B-God smoked up. What are they planning right now? Tower down. They get themselves 1 tower. That's the bottom tier 1. That's the first tower for Plasma as well, as they finish off the bottom T1. Thunder Predator might even just go straight up high ground here. Necrobook's ready. Shapeshift's ready.
AC ready.
Punka very dangerous. There's a Hurricane Pike that you're going up against, and Leo Style doesn't even need to use it. The Kunkka, the boat is coming in, trying to go for the TP out, and it will be cancelled by the puck ultimate. And here comes Tide. 3 seconds for Ravage. If only that fight would break out now, he would have the Ravage and his Kunkka would be alive. But no, now he's looking for the big Ravage. But no, he's not pressing the button. He's still holding on to the Fizzer stun coming in, and there's the stun connections coming in as well. And you've lost your Tide. You're gone for 30 seconds. Same with the Skywrath, and there's the Echo Slam as well. And it will take a triple kill for the Lycan here. And Kunkka just watching as he was dead. He spawned back to see his teammates just die and fall one by one. Thunder Predator 14k ahead and just pulverizing their way through the space right now. The mid racks also, the tier 3 falls. That's going to be 2 sets of racks. They won't be able to go for the megas. The tier 2 still remains in the bottom lane. Do they want to go for a finish? They don't. They're going to back away.
Yeah, the respawns are too short right now. Plus they have so much money on them.
It's a very good one. Is catching the Lycan. And here comes the damage, here comes the Ravage as well. They catch the puck, they catch 3 heroes with it. Sky ult is only doing so minimal damage. They're going to lose the Tidehunter, and now Kunkka's going to get hit by the Fissure hitting on 3. So Kunkka's not able to do anything in that situation, so he is just backing out. Thunder Predator, they got what they wanted. They forced out the Ravage once again. No heroes actually lost in this case, and even a buyback forced by the Clockwork.
Yep, and their status looks pretty good as well. Most of the mana is up on their cores right now. The only one who is a little bit low is Leo Style. And he's going to buy heals, so he's going to have enough mana regen to sustain, and they don't need to leave this side of the map at all. There's another
If
necrobook.
only. If
There's
only.
another shapeshift.
If only Ember would have, like, another item on top of his Maelstrom. You know, that Desolator's halfway. But halfway is too far away right now.
It definitely is. The Ember has been able to get some farm up at least.
But this is going to be mega creeps right here. They could potentially just go straight for the push. 80 seconds without the Ravage. How do you hold your base, Kips? How do you fight against this? The steam train is just happening right outside of your door, and Lycan's the one leading it. The conductor of this train is just charging at them right now. Lycan, okay, interesting setup coming in here. Lycan will go down. Puck also silenced up. They're bringing up the right-click damage from Leo style. And he's doing a lot here right now, but the Echo Slam's going to be up in 18 seconds. They don't have it right now. Pingu's going to die to the dot damage. Rem coming into the fight as well, getting the roots onto 2. MJZ dropping really low as well. Frank going over the jump as well, and they're going to take down Beacon. They're going to take down Giant as well. So that's 2 heroes gone, 3 heroes gone in total. And G and Rem are just trying to make a run for it. And Frank, he's got his Echo Slam ready as well, so he might as well just lock down this hero right here. Kunkka trying to go for the TP out. Not going to happen. Echo Slam in the face. And that's a triple kill. Going for Leo style. Shaker at 100, 200 HP is 2 HP. Well, he finally goes down as well, but the Ember Spirit is fighting for his life. But he has fought the battle, and he has fallen. Buyback from the Ember. Still wants to keep it up.
Just push his own offlaner into the Flame Guard.
And no remnants. That's a pure dieback, and that's a rampage as well for Leo style. Still, the Tidehunter trying to do and cause a little dent onto this Viper. They're getting a few spells. The Sky ulti is going to be off point as well as he just disappears from harm's way. A little bit of a heal coming in from the Mechanism, keeping up the Sky and the Tide for a bit. And meanwhile, Matthew, he's tempted to go at these mangoes. He dodges the hook shot. He's styling his way home. Look at this guy just balling his way. Well, he's going to die in the end, but still. Meanwhile, while he's doing space, range racks fall, melee racks fall, mega creeps 22 minutes.
Not as flawless as Thunder Predator perhaps would have wanted, but I guess that after they themselves got disposed of in 25 minutes, they might as well play around a little bit here.
And nice Ravage connecting onto 4. They catch the entire train. The Kunkka boat coming in as well. A lot of damage might be connecting here. The Yules will be thrown into the air, so the Viper will stay alive a bit longer. Chen is dropping low, but he is also getting outside of this fight, so the Tidehunter will be the full focus of this. Meanwhile, MNZ, taking down Peacock at the same time, and Clockwork will fall as well, and this should surely be the GG call as the tier 4 towers melt down, and it's all the way to the Ancient. They will even use the Glyph. They are not backing away. So Plasma, they will suffer the defeat. Thunder Predator hungry for this game. And they will take the first one in this best of 2 series. I wonder if there's still something up Plasma's sleeve, because this one was a clear victory for Thunder Predator.
Yeah, Thunder Predator were definitely not about to let Quincy Crew have the last word of the evening here. You can see that Plasma has a certain idea about what needs to happen, but there's these, how do you say this? There's pretty small misplays in the sense that you probably shouldn't pressure Ravage here, you probably shouldn't TP there, but if you look at them in the grand scheme of things, there are very clear indications that they don't quite know how to react to this game that Thunder Predator is playing. And so they're playing on their instincts. People show up, they teleport, you get jumped, you press your ult. It's not going to cut it against a team with this much more experience than you. So yeah, I hope the Plasma brings something original, something of their own in the next match, and not just, I saw Team Secret beat the Lycan with a Kunkka and a Tidehunter. So let's see about that second game, shall we?
Well, if something is for sure, the Zoo draft seems to be pulling off, so Thunder Predator with the help of the Lycan and the Chen do the most of it, but Leo style, perfect 16-0-10 game on the Viper. We'll see what happens in game 2 after the outbreak.